Welcome to Zoom In, Zoom Out. I'm Isabel Wang. Natural disasters are dominating headlines as climate risks intensify. Have you come across news about extreme weather worldwide? To find out what the government, businesses, and individuals can do to mitigate climate change, we're joined by Eugene Chien, chairman of the Taiwan Institute of Sustainable Energy. He's a former senior government official turned sustainability advocate. In his latest book, he reflects on the lessons learned, challenges ahead, and what true sustainability demands in an increasingly fragmented world.
TICE, we started in 2007. So this year will be 19 years old. We started from zero. So it's a long way to today. And what we are doing is four major works. One is for climate change. Second one is sustainable development. Then third one is for sustainable energy. The last one is biodiversity.
What drives you in working on this sustainability efforts?
Mostly start from 21st century, 2000 year. At that time, sustainable goals with some risk and some damage from the climate change. So most countries around the world, they spend a lot of the energy and also educational program. So that's very important also for Taiwan. Although we are a small island, however, we are heavily influenced by the climate change, especially for flood, typhoon, and the other damages. So it's very important start from government with industry and the people, and even with our general publics. They must have awareness about how serious it is. Then we have some action in a very short time. Otherwise, the more damage will happen in Taiwan. As one of the members of the world countries, we should do our own responsibility.
You've devoted in sustainability quite early on when a lot of people are not even talking about ESG or environmental sustainability and governance at that time. What is the thing that you wish you had known sooner?
Actually, we started from very small. Actually, we start from zero. So I wish I could do something earlier. I'm not thinking I can do something early because we have no resources, no people, no institution. So we just follow the niche. We start from companies because Taiwan is so-called the export-oriented country. In order to have export good, easily to export to the other countries, we must follow international laws and norms. Otherwise, they cannot export. So that's very important niche. We find that companies are quite easy to accept this kind of idea.
What is the industry that is most willing to adopt sustainability or sustainable strategies that you've observed over the past decade? First
one, export-oriented company. We have about more than 60% of the GDP is aimed for export. If they want to have good export, they must follow the international regulations. Then second one, their supply chain. Because they cannot just export by themselves, by their own brand. They have a supply chain. The supply chain will work together. Total amount about the company join and some institutions, including hospitals, join with our competition programs. Last year is over 1,000. The total amount of the sales volume or the budget of the institution is about 1.2 trillion US dollars. That's a big number. When you were talking about it, the most recent example that came to my mind would be TSMC's expansion to Phoenix. And then a lot of the supply chain will also follow TSMC to go there. Have you heard of industry leaders or business representatives talking about having a hard time fitting into different kind of environmental policy overseas? Environmental problem actually is easier for us go abroad because they already follow most about the international standard in Taiwan. The most difficult part in the social part. The social part means because mentality and working behavior in Taiwan is different from abroad. Not in Japan or USA, even in European countries. You know, workers' union is not so strong in Taiwan. However, in some countries, they are very strong. How to deal with union? Through the very good ESG practice, that's very important. So they are more worried about in the social part instead of just the environmental aspect.
Personally, what are the biggest change that you've observed? Because when you started ESG work or as Thais, you were lack of resources. But now, because all the people, maybe the society, the government are talking about ESG policies, do you feel like it's easier to push forward the mission that Thais is working on?
In 2007, at that time, this country actually is totally ignorant about sustainability or climate change. 18 years ago, I started a radio program weekly. I have almost broadcasting about 1,000 programs. Then I must go to school, from primary school, junior high school, university, then go to company, then gradually start warm up the idea about sustainability is vital to Taiwan. I have spent almost 20 years in the government as a minister level work. So after I left the government, I find that I have no power at all. However, I have the carrot. So I arranged more than so far annually about 21 different competitions among different subjects about the sustainability. For instance, I started from Corporate Sustainability Award.
So is there any pushback regarding the ESG goals right now internationally?
For any social movement, there's an up and downs. In the last 20 years, you can observe that. In some years, they're very keen, organized by the international community, working very hard for one push. For instance, Paris Agreement, that's very important. Now some years it's going down because United States already left the treaty 3 times. We still are going forward because we are not going for just for the political agenda. We are working for the long-term peace and development of the group, of the world society. In the last 20 years, I can observe that, and we all can observe that, the performance of the company in Taiwan is extraordinarily good. There has one special group called Dow Jones Sustainability Index that's compiled by about 300 different companies. We have 34 companies being enlisted in that index. The biggest number is United States, 54 companies. Second one is Japan, 37. We are number 3.
What are the leading Taiwanese companies being listed in the index?
We have so many. TSMC, Delta, CDCI, and also many financial corporations. Taiwan's GDP is only about 0.7% of the global GDP. However, the total among the companies listed in that index is more than 10%. Second number is that for Standard & Poor's S&P index, the S&P produced yearbook annually. Last year annual book, they review about 7,600 companies around the world. They produce yearbook about 780 companies listed in that yearbook. Taiwan has 69 companies.
That's quite a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's about 9%. And many of them is leading one in different sectors of the industry.
Can you talk a bit about nuclear energy as a potential solution for Taiwan?
When we're talking about energy, we always talking about so-called composition problem. We are not looking for the single use of any kind of energy. We try to expand our opportunities to use more different kind of energy. And nuclear power is one of very important source to put in our energy composition. So my personal view is that I do agree that I think it's very important for us to extend our nuclear power plant number 2 and number 3.
Would that kind of go against with the current government's intention?
Current government position is very clear. They already mentioned that many times. We follow all the regulation rules. The first one, they have their own inspection about the possibility of use the Taipower nuclear power plant 2 or 3. The second stage is sent to the government nuclear commission, atomic commission, for approve. If they do approve that, I think that this one is going on. Maybe in the 2 or 3 years, we can reuse that again.
For those who are against the continuation for usage of nuclear power plant would be safety reasons. For you working on the front line of sustainable efforts, what would be your suggestion on that?
I conduct a public survey for last more than 14 years. You can see that the people in this country, they are more than 70% of the population, they do agree to reuse about the nuclear power plant. So it's very clear they have the people support. The second one is really important. It could be about 10% more for the today's energy use in Taiwan for electricity. It's vital important for the AI and semiconductor industries in next couple of years. So that's good for this country's economic development. At the meantime, they can solve the problem for the clean or low carbon energy.
Looking ahead, we're in 2026 now. That means you'll be working in sustainability for 20 years almost. What would be your personal goals to achieve for the coming year? As many also call you like the godfather of sustainability as well.
Well, I think this country is in a very good stage right now. Compared to 20 years ago, it's completely different. For instance, they are not only in private industries, but also they extended to medical industries, also to universities. TAI's Foundation already signed with about 151 hospitals for MOU for sustainable development. That means majority of the hospitals in this country, they already joined the wagon for sustainability. University, we signed 71 MOUs for sustainability. I think this country, both the government and people, now they understand, they have very free awareness about the importance of sustainability development for this country and for the world. Now it became a social movement for the better tomorrow.
Chairman Chien, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Well, thank you very much for having me in your shows.
This has been Zoom In, Zoom Out. You can find more stories by following us on social media. Hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time.